Oh, hey, how's it going? I can see you made yourself comfortable in the chair there. I just had to run into the house. I forgot something, and you know, it's a lot to remember. It's also super duper cold outside. It's like negative 12 degrees or something. Yeah, well, I know you know. You obviously had to walk through it to get here. Oh, I lied. It's not negative 12. It's negative 14. Yeah. Well, that's fine. It's not negative 14 in here, so. Well, they kind of warned us that this was coming, you know, well, they came up with a name for it, you know. They always got to come up with a name, like polar vortex, or, you know, Sharknado. Oh, maybe that wasn't the Weather Channel, that was a different channel. Whatever, you know, it's all trying to make us worried about something. Well, this time I got to give it to them, you know. They like brought the big guns. I think they kind of shop these things. But basically, they explained to us that this bitter cold that we're experiencing for these few days came from Siberia. This is like a Siberian effect. So, you know, they got like the cold in there, Siberia, but also Russians. Apparently we're all supposed to hate Russians, and I don't know why, but they are attacking us with weather. Apparently, DEFCON 5. I don't, you know, I just think it's all silly. Anytime you turn on the weather news, something is like record high low or unprecedented. I'm just not sure they know what the word unprecedented means. You know, allegedly we had an ice age at some time in Earth's history. I would say maybe that was unprecedented, you know. There may have been a worldwide flood at some point. I would say that's unprecedented. Cold in the middle of January in Minnesota. Not really. It's not unprecedented. There's nothing just start using words right is all I'm saying. This is normal. Anyway, I don't know how I got off on that. I actually took a trip to Russia in 1992. I was, I don't know, 17, 18. I don't do math, but around that age. And I was talking to my wife about it the other day because it was a really good experience. And what my eyes were open to, you know how in our culture, or let's just go back to whatever, news, we're conditioned to view countries other than ours, or even ours, as governments. Like, oh, that's you know, Chinese, they're just awful, you know, or Australians, or they're stupid. I don't think anyone's ever said that. They have a cool accent, so. But you know, we tend to look at it in government. So what I discovered then as a young man, and have discovered since going overseas, is that it's just people. It's people like you, it's people like me, raising families, going to work, trying to provide for themselves, trying to get by the best that they can in the circumstances that they're in. Everywhere, the whole world. China, Japan, Australia, South America, South Africa, Europe, Canada. Well, maybe not Canada, you know. I'm just kidding. I love Canada. No, that's not true. I don't love Canada, but I have Canadians that are friends, and I like my friends. So, though I will say I went to Vancouver, I don't know, late 90s, and very beautiful city over there on the West Coast. So anyway, it's Rabbit Trail Day, and where this rabbit trail is going to take us is Disco, the 1978 Corvette, silver anniversary, and we're going to finish up the rear suspension bushing job and fixing the parking brakes that aren't in existence, and try to get that thing back on the road. So we may do other things, but that's kind of the thing that's on my mind today. So anyway, super glad you're here. I'm glad you made yourself comfortable in this chair, but it's time to get to work. I mean, it's cold out. Thank you, Russian Siberia. It's cold out. So anyway, let's get to work. Well, we should probably catch up on where we left this thing. Last week I got busy on Mr. F, and also I was waiting for parts for the Disco here. So where were we? I just walked over here like, hey, let's catch up. And then I don't even know where I am. So let's walk around this side of the table. We got hoses, brake hoses to replace the cracked one over there. Oh, my finger's pointing here. There you go. So I got those in. Also, this is the tool that I was explaining last time. So if you're, should we recap? This is going to be painful for me because in recapping, I'm going to have to, tell on myself a little bit. Also, we have to kind of forgive the heater noise because that little fella up there, when it's this cold out, he just works. He's doing his job. So, so if you remember, I got the old bushings out of this, and then in putting the new bushings in, decided, well, I didn't decide anything. I started looking for my tool because I used to have this. And I couldn't find it, so I took this over to the press. I had it on my vise, whatever, hammers, violence, and it didn't work. I ruined the bushing. So I got online, ordered the tool. That was one of the things I was waiting for. And so now I can actually do it properly. So if you remember, so this is the bushing kit, the second one I had to buy. If you notice on this end, this is flared, and this end it's not. So what this tool does, if you look down in there, this is the not flared end. Once I get this clamped down and my bushing is, you know, properly seated on the inside there. Then I can take this super heavy duty punch, and being that this is located, it's not going anywhere, no damage will happen as did the other time. This end will mushroom this end out like this end. And basically it retains the bushing, like it won't come out. Not that it could, the way it's situated, but it's the design. So that's what we're doing. Also got a replacement, you know, what are these called? Calipers, brake thingies, brake pad squeezers. This is a pad squeezer because this one here was seeping out. The way these are designed is they're basically sandwiched, held in with this bolt. They make like an aftermarket style that is like solid cast, I think. I can't remember exactly, but I wanted to get the original style. And now I'm looking at this. Hopefully it won't matter. Hang on. Looks exactly the same. Looks exactly the same. I just started looking at this, and this says LS on it, which you know, makes me think, hey, left side. But it's the correct one because I ordered the correct one and the correct one came. And they even have the plug in the right place. It's the right one. So anyway, I just had a little panic attack taking a look at it since I had specifically ordered. I'm wondering where the box is for that. Let's see. Shoes. I'm just seeing in my bushing kit. I don't even know where my receipt is for that. Oh, wait, here it is. Nope. Nope, that's a different receipt. Okay, let's not get off track here, okay? I just wanted to double check. So the pads on this one are fine. We'll just transfer them over to there. These are the shims, if you remember, for either side of the trailing arm that it goes, you know, they locate it. So I have stacked the same, you know, number and thickness of shims for the install. We're replacing the shock mounts and what else? Oh yeah, the kit. This is all of the spring and whatnots and pads for the parking brake, which all of that stuff goes back in here. So I'm going to assemble that back here, or as much of it as I can, I think, before I remount this in the vehicle. I'll probably also swap this out. It'll be easier to do right here than once that arm is in. And yeah, we'll try to get this thing squished, this thing assembled back, and then we'll go to the other side. I mean, easier said than done. Because you literally could say about everything. It's always easier to say it than to do it. So, but let's just do it. It'll be fun. And this Corvette is going to it's going to handle way better. So the front also needs to be done, but that's going to maybe be a next year project. It's this back squishiness that we're going to solve with this little job. So I guess I'll get to it.
Honey, baby, meet me just one last time. Honey, baby, talk to me one last time. It's hard leaving you this way.
Basically got everything in. Well, let me get, can you just grab me a flashlight? All right, I got it. Got the shock in, we've got the parking brake cable in, we've got the new bushings and spacers back there, new caliper, new bushings, new armature and bushings there, and I think I said new shock mount, all of that. So I'm really just waiting on this side to bleed the brakes, which of course I'll do once I get the other side done. So if you've never seen a C3 Corvette parking brake, well, there it is. I mean, this is, the other side had nothing here. This has everything here. But as you can see, the pad is cracked and, you know, it's been on there a while. And I've got the replacement, you know, stuff. So if you look over here, let's go look at old Blue for a minute. See the, you know, drum brake paraphernalia. We can go to the back axle, you know, a little more covered up, but you know, you've got all the springs and doodads and whatnots. Well, when you get over here, the principle is exactly the same. Well, I'd show it to you, but you know, you can't see it. And so also you have to assemble it. Well, you know, my fingers aren't that tiny, but you got to do it. So there's springs. There's a spring across this side up top. There's a spring on the bottom with an adjuster wheel. There's a little, anyway, there's the retainers on either side, just like if you've ever done drum brakes. So you just can't, it's covered up. So you could take the hub out, but then you've got to press the hub back in with the bearings and pack it and make sure the spacing is correct. And, you know, we don't want to mess with that. That's all good. So we're going to do it, well, we did the other side. We're going to do it just not being able to see anything. And that's how it's done, folks, okay? None of us like it. It's time consuming, but it'll be worth it in the end because this is a manual transmission car. You need a parking brake. So let's make sure this thing can hold itself in case, you know, it pops out of gear on a hill. You don't want it rolling away. So I'm just getting ready. The brake line fought me a little bit here, but we got it off. And as per the other side, we're replacing the soft line. And really that's it as far as the brakes. And then of course the parking brake assembly, which I'll do once I have this trailing arm assembly off and on the workbench. So we'll use the tool here like we did before, squeeze the spring up, get this bolt out and its bushings, disconnect the half shaft, take off the, you know, shock absorber, so named, and then get this bolt out here and slide the whole thing out. And then, you know, put it back together again, you know, like Humpty Dumpty. So, all right, I just wanted to give a break and especially to just complain. Just complain how hard the parking brake assembly is. You know, just felt like complaining. And you were the one here to hear it, so. I guess that's my cue. I'm gonna get back to it.
working like a dog, day and night, trying to finish up this job and do it right. There's only a few things that a man like me needs, and taste this whiskey, and you're right next to me, singing, hey, honey, I'm coming home. I don't know why I'm gone so long. Hey, honey, I'm coming home to you. Said, hey, honey, promise please that you're gonna be the light on for me. Hey, honey, I'm coming home soon. You know what we're gonna do. Heaven knows that you put your time into it. Hell of a woman, sweet red wine, and how you choose. Well, let's get one thing straight. It ain't about what you do for me. Well, I'm gonna love you, and I love you loving me. Singing, hey, honey, coming home. I don't know why I've been gone so long. Hey, honey, I'm coming home to you. Said, hey, honey, promise please that you're gonna be the light on for me. Hey, honey, I'm coming home soon. You know what we're gonna do, yeah. Coming home, I don't know why I've been gone so long. Hey, honey, coming home, I don't know why I've been gone so long. Said, hey, honey, coming home, I don't know why I've been gone so long. Said, hey, honey, coming home to you. Hey, honey, I'm coming home, I don't know why I've been gone so long. Hey, honey, I'm coming home to you. Promise please that you're gonna leave the light on for me. Hey, honey, I'm coming home soon. You know what we're gonna do.
Hey there. Been kind of burning the midnight oil, early morning oil, whatever it is. I'm trying to get this car done kind of sooner than I planned on because the owner's heading out of town for about 10 days, and it'd be best if I had the space in the shop. So I had some obligations last night, and so I came out early this morning to finish up, and my wife just brought me a sandwich, which I absorbed through my skin as I was working, and now I feel better. I wasn't crabby, you know, but it wasn't great. So I've got this all assembled. I'm just finishing up the brake, actually the last brake line before I can bleed the system. So what happened is I had to take this one off. Well, you can kind of see, hang on. You can kind of see, well, it doesn't look that great. This one is spinning freely. This one is frozen to the line, and it's just wanting to twist the line in half. And as you can see, I struggled getting it off. Well, all that struggle was kind of for nothing because I decided I can't put this back on because this won't spin. So I am making a line. It's just going to be faster, it's going to be better, and for the next brake job, it's just going to make the next guy happier, which will probably be me. It will make me happier. So I'm going to shape this line, or cut it, put the ends on, shape it, get it on here, and then we'll you remember, that side over there is a new caliper, so it's completely empty. This is mainly empty because I just squeezed all the juice out of it getting it on. And we'll lower the car down, get these brakes bled, and then we should be done. So I had a goal for, well, I'm 40 minutes away from my goal. So I'm going to get to this, and hopefully I can meet my goal because I need some time to test, make sure everything's working properly before I send it off. So hang in there. We'll get this done. This side actually went easier than the other side, which of course is always the case because, you know, you kind of remember doing the one side, and then by the time you get to this side, well, you've remembered all the things you forgot. So something I was gonna say, talk about, what was it? I don't know. It'll come to me. It'll come to me. Been out here a little while this morning, so let me finish this up, and then we'll maybe take a breather. Grab a cup of coffee or something. Oh, that was a great, great YouTube thumbnail. You know, I still get a kick out of them. I'm trying hard. I'm trying hard. Okay, we were going to take a little spin in it just to feel, make sure there weren't any unusual noises or whatnot. But of course, the battery was low, wouldn't start. So I did jump start it with my jump pack after I charged my jump pack, which was also low, and ended up just taking it up and down the driveway, brought it back in. I had to adjust the camber a little bit, and you might notice it looks a little towed out at the top right now, but that's because I just had it up on jack stands because I was adjusting the parking brake cable, and so now it's down again, and it's pretty close. I'll probably have him bring the car back this spring, get 100 miles on it or so, let all those bushings settle in, and then I'll make sure that it's correct. So it's been great fun working on this car. Not all the time. I'll tell you, if you have plans to rebuild the parking brake on your C3 Corvette, well, pray up, because you might just lose your religion more than once. I'm not saying there were tools thrown. I'm just saying it could have happened, and I felt very bad about it. So yeah, it's not the most fun job in the world, but it works, it's on, and now he has a parking brake. So I think what I need to do, I don't know if you can tell, but I need to clean up my tools. And, you know, assess. Need to assess and figure out what I'm doing next. So he's gonna come pick up the car this evening probably. And yeah. Yeah, I know, I look shell-shocked. I'm shell-shocked, okay? It's been a long morning. But we got her done. So I hope we see that car back. It's a really, really cool silver anniversary Corvette. And you know, so many times that this rubber bumper body style of the C3 doesn't get a lot of love. But I'll just tell you, as a kid, these are the cars that I remember seeing as I'm walking down the sidewalk. I remember walking down the sidewalk and just looking at these door handles and thinking, how do those work? Those are so cool. And these hood wings or bulges, and just thinking, it's just so cool. I had a toy car, had those wheels. The whole car was black, but it was the rubber bumper version. Yeah, they're finally coming into their own, just like every classic car does. And by today's standards, not a fast car, but you can't measure its coolness, the coolness factor. It can't be measured. It's just, they're just super cool. So my big downfall is that I don't fit in them. I got to take the T-tops off and then I fit in them, you know? No, my eyes are not looking above the windshield. Thanks for that, but get a little breeze, you know? My hair starts whipping in the wind. So you got to look really close, but it's whipping. Anyway, I'm gonna clean up these tools. Just grab yourself some snack or something, and I'll hang out with you as soon as I figure out what the heck I'm doing. So, anyway, that's what I have. That's it. I need some more coffee. That's what I need. What we have here, as you well know, is a 1954 Ford F-100. Now, we're not here to talk about Old Blue, which I have named this truck because I am in charge of naming. We're here to talk about rusty old trucks, okay? There's something about an old truck that it's more emotional than, I don't know, rational. So you have a truck like Old Blue, you know, got rusty pits. We've actually even got metal missing right here, rust holes. We've got a pushed in front bumper. We've got faded paint. In other words, this truck's perfect. It needs nothing other than to be serviceable on the road and have brakes, and you know, and run well. But it's essentially perfect. It's a truck. It's had one owner its entire life. Now, granted, the owner now is not the owner that bought it, but he is the son of the owner who bought it. So, all in the family. He has great sentimental value and memories tied up into this truck. Memories of childhood, him and his sister driving it, riding in it, their dad using it to get to work. It's got rusty floorboards or, side steps. Overall, it's a very solid truck. I will say that. Very solid. It's just, got some aged perfection. But we're not really here to talk about Old Blue. We're here to talk about Leroy. You may have seen this truck in the background, an episode or two, and this is a 1984. 84. I had to look it up because they made this body style a few years. It's a 1984 Dodge, Ram. It's a Prospector version. And this, like Old Blue, is a Minnesota truck. It's got some rust. It's got some places where a previous owner decided to just smooth some Bondo in and pretend that they didn't see it and it wasn't there. The other fender has holes in it. The rocker on the driver's side has holes in it. There's tears in the seat cushions. The paint's faded. It's got some dents. But like Old Blue, this truck is very solid. It's, did I, was that over the top? Very solid. I'm not trying to sell it to you. It's not for sale. It's not mine. But the owners brought this truck in because they love it. And it doesn't stop very well. And it's been having fueling issues. Carburetor, he's been starting it with starter fluid, barely runs. It was born with a 318 in it, and since then has been upgraded to a 360. Great upgrade, by the way. Two-wheel drive model. He has wheels for it. These are just plastic hubcap. I can't say it. The covers for the wheels. And they're plastic. Just kind of with the snow tire flavor going on, but he's got some nicer wheels and tires for it. But ultimately, the female half of the marriage also loves this truck, but also hates it because it won't start, it won't go. Now it won't even stop very well. I have diagnosed immediately what the issue was for the brakes. If you notice up there where that brake line is really kind of dampish, wettish, nasty looking, we just have a case of a rusty brake line that popped a hole in it. So happens to be the one that runs from the proportioning valve to that front brake line up here on the driver's side. And so I'll just make a new line for that. Won't do that this week. Also, the running issue, the owner's trying to make a decision whether to replace this thermal quad with a Holley carburetor that's got electric choke and vacuum secondaries, or if we're going to go with a Sniper 2 EFI system. The EFI system's a lot more expensive, and it's going to require a lot more work to get it in. So it's just kind of, I have my own opinion, but we'll let the owner come up with what they want to do. And then we've got some bad grounds and possible vacuum leaks. I'm just going to chase them down, especially if we do anything with the fuel. We'll want to make sure we've got the vacuum sorted out. So I just wanted to take you in to old Leroy there, kind of at the end of things, introduce you to him. I know he was in the background and you were like, are we just going to ignore the elephant in the room? Hey, I'm not calling you an elephant. You're just it's a saying. Oh, Leroy, he sometimes misunderstands. So, but I think we're going to call it quits on this episode. I have got some parts ordering to do. I've got some just rat killing. You know what they say? Rat killing. It's all these little, like 50 little projects that I just need to button up. And it's not going to make for much of a story. So I'm super glad you hung out with me here to see Disco off and talk about Leroy. And then next week, I don't know what we're going to do. What are we going to do next week? I bet I'll figure something out. Anyway, if you swing by, just come on in, grab a cup of coffee, and just hang out while I'm doing what I'm doing. So super glad that you decided to hang out this week, and yeah, see you next time.